Coach Pie with me this morning. We're going to talk about financing, how to help you get healthier, wealthier, and wise, we hope.
Yes,
Be better stewards of your money, better stewards of your time, and enjoy who you could be in God. And of course, I've got Miss Lisa Petty with me. Lisa is my sidekick. And she is the one. She's the one that keeps me going in the directions I need to go in all the various things I'm involved in.
When possible.
I may be older than dirt, but I just don't stop. I just keep going. I'm having too much fun in life not to. And again, this is one of the aspects of things that I'm involved in with Miss Pie and with Miss Lisa, just getting it going and having fun. So please. Now, Miss Lisa, I am going to turn it to you a little bit. I'll inject, as you guys all know I will anyhow.
Okay, yes, it happens. It happens.
All the time.
Yeah, I can never be quiet. That's just not in my wheelhouse, okay?
Absolutely. Well, I want to say good afternoon to everybody and hope everybody's had a wonderful weekend and they're ready for the beginning of the week. We are going to have some conversation with Coach Pie this afternoon and just go over some things that I think a lot of us want to know and a lot of us need to know. We're going to start off with wage garnishments. And I know we've had questions and a lot of people asking and a lot of people wanting to know how that works. And Coach Pie is going to help us navigate through this. One of the first questions that we're getting a lot is, what exactly is a wage garnishment and how does that work?
Okay, great. So a wage garnishment is a court-ordered repayment of somebody's wages, right? Under the federal law, any employer can reduce a portion of your income to pay back a creditor, as long as it's court-ordered.
That sounds painful, doesn't it, guys? And I know for those
you work for nothing,
right? You make your money, you go to work, and then they take it. Okay, well, how is that legal? How are they able to actually take money that you went to work for and earned?
Okay, this law is administered by the Wage Hour Division of the Department of Labor's Employment Standard Administration. So Title III of the Consumer Credit Protection Act limits the amount that someone can take from your wages.
Okay, but they're able to actually come back. And see, this lets us know, guys, they're able to actually come back and take the money that you worked for because you owe a debt.
You owe a debt. So in actuality, y'all, the thing is, your credit plays part in more ways than one. A lot of ways you don't even know how somebody can just get a judgment against you, go to the court and say they want part of your money.
Right. That makes us very uneasy. Makes me uneasy.
It's bad enough Uncle Sam takes his chunk.
Uh-oh.
Right. Well, one of the other questions we're also getting is what earnings can actually be garnished? Like, what portion of your earnings can be garnished?
Under the law, any wages that can be affected, hourly wages, commissions. So for y'all self-employed people, even those commissions that you're earning, your bonus, if the job gives you a bonus, your retirement and your pension can actually be. But the good thing is, if you actually work for, let's say, in the service industry and you're earning tips, your tips cannot be garnished.
Okay. So all of us out there who need to go get jobs earning tips, make sure that we do that ASAP. Because everybody else, if you're on the clock, it sounds like your money is able to be taken if somebody is, just filing something against you. You have funds out there that just can be garnished at any given time. That makes me very uneasy.
And this goes for all 50 states. So you're not safe. You're not safe in the District of Columbia, Puerto Rico. All United Territories are affected by wage garnishment.
Wow. Well, okay, the next question that we're getting, guys, out there is how much can actually be garnished? Like, how much of your income can they actually take?
That's a great question. According to the law, it's two ways that it can do. So it can exceed 25% of any disposable income, which means what you take home, as Pastor Bob say, after Uncle Sam, the federal, the state, and the local taxes are actually deducted. So anything that you take home, they can take up to 25%. And then, the income that's greater 30 times the federal minimum wage. So anything, if you're making 30 times over the minimum wage,
that's a big chunk.
Hey, the creditor is allowed to garnish the lesser of the two. So there are people that can literally come take more than that. And I must put the emphasis on, there are only two that usually can come in and take more than that. That's child support.
Right. Okay. Everyone.
You know, and alimony. So child support and alimony is allowed to take up to 50% of your disposable income if you're taking care of someone else, like you have another wife or you have a child. If you do not have one of these...
I got a question. You just said something, Coach Pye. What is disposable income?
Right.
Disposable income is anything
it's all disposed.
Anything you take home, right? Anything you take up out that job is disposable, right? Because once you leave the job, it's going out it from your hand to someone else's hand, so it makes it disposable. And then 60% for people, up to 60% for those that don't care for nobody. And then guess what? There is a 5% additional.
Oh, see? More money, guys.
That could be taken out if you are 12 weeks in the rear with child support or alimony. Please pay your child support or alimony.
If you currently have an apartment or a house, go look for a refrigerator box, because that's where you're going to be.
You know what? And I mean, we're laughing, and it's really not funny all on how the people are actually working just to pay somebody else.
Right.
There's nothing that they're able to say because most people are working for minimum wage. And minimum wage some places, $8.50?
Right.
And then if you're in the service industry like IHOP or Denny's, they starting you at $7.25 plus your tips.
Right.
So just imagine if I had to pay something up out of that.
Right.
Now my question is, what happens if you get the garnishment, and all of a sudden somebody else comes at you with another garnishment? Do they reduce the first one? Or does it just get tacked on? You really get broke.
You really get broke. I think there's a little leniency right there, right? I don't think that they're going to let 5-6 people garnish you at once. And if that's the case, I'm going to suggest something. FYI, quit your job.
Yeah.
Work for cash. If you work under the table, they can't get nothing. I mean, for real, if I'm sitting there and let's say I'm making $8.25 and you're going to take 25% of that after taxes.
Yeah.
Now, just imagine if I filled out my W-4 wrong, where I said I'm claiming 0, so you're taking a lot of tax.
Yeah. And
then 25% on that. What am I really living?
Right.
About 30%.
Right.
I think you're living about 10%, actually.
Yeah, you don't have any money to function off of. Just based on the fact that they're taking.
So what are the recourses? What does somebody that this happens to, what can they do? Is there any recourse at all?
So the only recourse I'm going to say is you try and get it to where there are certain entities that can garnish your check. So the average creditor cannot go garnish your check. And we'll talk, that'll be part 2. So I will give you a list of who can and who can't garnish your check. But most people that's garnishing your check, they really want it back. Most creditors, once they sell it to the collection company, they're not garnishing your check. They may quote unquote call you with those threats that we're going to take your money, but they're not spending more money to go into the court and then pay the court fees to get a judgment to garnish your check, and you only owe $500. Come on now.
Yeah, they're not going to spend the money and take the time. Wow. Well, we're gonna go down the list of some of the questions that we're getting, just like what Pastor Bob just mentioned. Well, what happens when Title III has been updated?
So, if someone under the Title III has been violated by their employer, that means, if you're up under Title III, they cannot fire you. Okay. They cannot fire you because they're paying for a debt because you owe somebody. Okay. Right. So that's to be known, right?
Gotcha.
So, if that does happen, what's going to happen is you most definitely have to be restated by law, restated by your job, and they have to pay you your money back.
Okay. So they can't just terminate you because of that action.
No, and if you have any employer that's not abiding by this, then you just contact the Department of Labor.
There we go. Everybody listen to that. Department of Labor, if that's happening or has happened to somebody that you know or is happening to you. Also, are there any exceptions to the law?
Yes, there actually is. Wage garnishment does not apply to bankruptcy. We were talking about bankruptcy earlier. And debt due from federal or state taxes. You know, that needs to know. If a state wage garnishment law differs from the federal law, then it results from the smaller. Whichever one is smaller is what you usually have to end up paying back.
Okay, that makes sense. Are you feeling a little safer out there, guys?
No.
I know it's a lot to take in, but we've had a lot of questions in this area, and a lot of people need to know, and a lot of us need to understand it better.
One of the things that bothers me is because the enemy, Satan, comes after people anyhow, and he gets you when you're already busted, broken, disgusted, and he really puts the screws to you. You're sitting there and you're looking at trying to figure out how you're going to eat and pay the electric bill.
Correct.
And then you got this other stuff going on. You know, there's got to be some recourse, some way that people could still survive.
Right.
You know, a lot of people go get 3, 4, 5, 6 jobs, right, just to make ends meet.
Right.
I mean, I tell people all the time, whatever by any means necessary. So that means you just don't have to go get a second job. You can create an income. A lot of us women, we can create an income within our own closet.
Right.
Go clean that mug out.
Right.
Sell some stuff on offer
That's
up.
true. It's true.
Let it go. Just let it go.
You mean you don't need 37 pair of shoes?
Hey, and all the clothes that still got the price tag, those good Sunday clothes, you know,
That's
that
true.
you thought you needed, right? Let it go. You know, my thing is go drive Uber, whatever. Get into a home-based business.
Right.
I mean, network marketing is the greatest thing walking right now. We are $187 billion industry.
That's
Right.
true. That's true. And a lot
Most
of
people don't
think
even
that.
understand what network marketing is, much less how to get into it, because there's been a lot of negativism thrown at it. Some of it justified, a lot of it not
Correct.
justified. A lot of it's people that have got into something in network marketing, didn't do what was laid out for them to do, and then complain that it didn't work.
Right.
Well, you know what? That's funny because the company that I'm a part of, right, has some negativity going around, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the thing is, you know, people were doing research, and which you should do research on anything that you're becoming a part of.
Absolutely.
But the thing is, you have to learn to read between the negative and the positive because
Right.
there's always negative and positive. The thing is, a lot of things were because of the things that people were saying. So here we go, people. I need you to know your credit will not be repaired in 30 to 45 days. The
No.
process of credit repair is the first 30 to 45 days. Is all 3 of the credit bureaus
Right.
have that time limit to even start responding if they're going to update, if they're going to delete. Now, guess what? Do we have clients getting results? Yes,
Yes.
we do.
Yes.
I happen to be one. In 30 days, they deleted 6 things off my credit.
Right.
Right.
But my thing is, don't get miscrewed when you're going to places like our company and other companies when you're trying to do credit repair. There is a process. You need to wait. Hey, it didn't take you 30 seconds to mess
That's
up your credit, and it ain't going to take us 30 seconds to
And
fix
when you
it.
get
That's
into
right.
the process
That's
of
right.
trying to restore your
That's
credit, the last thing you want to do is go get another credit card.
You know what? I'm going to retract that because that's not true. Because when you're getting your credit repaired, they're taking away the negative things, items, the erosions, the inaccurate, but then you have to have something positive
Right.
reporting. So I have had clients that I go tell, go get your credit card. But with this credit card, don't go get you a $5,000 credit card. Go get your secure credit card for $300. Stay 30% to 20% to 30%
Yeah,
of
so
the
it's reporting
limit,
positive.
right? So I can report. Buy some gas.
There
If
go.
you got a vehicle, you always need gas.
Every day.
Right? So then guess what?
Your
Notice,
morning Starbucks.
hey, I drink Starbucks. Don't be knocking me like that, Pastor.
I wasn't knocking. I'm saying
So-
you can do it and pay it, you know.
All I'm saying is the 30% rule, right? So sometimes you need a credit card, but don't get a credit card and go into more debt. Don't get
And max it out.
Do not get into credit repair and then go delinquent on other accounts, because that start affecting. This is how wage garnishment is coming in.
I actually had somebody I had put into the system and got them moving, and the next thing I get is a text message and go, I just had 2 more items hit on the negative side. What do I do? I'm going, let the company know that this is now hitting, because she didn't know that it was there. She had to know it, but you know what I'm saying. So yeah, we put it in there, and so they're going to be working on the new one on the second go around of
right. Well, a lot of people don't understand. As you're working on credit repair, don't let the other things start to become more negative as you're trying to fix what has been holding you back up to this point.
Right.
You still got to stay on top of everything that you are already doing. Don't just think the credit repair can go in and fix that when now you're letting this slide because you think you're in the processes of credit repair. That's not how it works.
Correct.
I end up doing counseling with a lot of couples who get into trouble. And one of the first things that I've heard multiple times, well, I can't pay the rent, so let's go out to dinner.
But you know what? A lot of people priorities are not there, right? So even when it comes to trying to get your credit repair, I get so many people that get in my inbox, right? I don't know why they get in my inbox and say they ready, and then they set up an appointment, and then you call them, and then they be like Casper. They go ghost, right? So my thing is, you have to prioritize, right? When Jordan comes out with new gym shoes, the line is wrapped around 3-4 times, right? When Starbucks come out with a new drink, we're at Starbucks, right? But guess what? When it comes to getting our personal together, I made a post today, and my post simply said, stop acting like the Joneses. If you get your credit fixed, you can be the Jones. You can be the Jones, right? Some people are here just faking it to make it. And the thing is, if you get your personal credit together, the sky is the limit.
There you go. There you go.
The sky is the limit.
Repairing your credit, I want to make this really clear. Repairing your credit doesn't mean that it makes you more money. What it does is it puts you in a better position, buying power-wise, where you can get a better car, a better apartment, and things like that will improve. It doesn't just give you money. If you want to improve your money situation, it's kind of like dieting. It all boils down to fuel in versus fuel burn. I don't care what diet you're on. If you're taking in more fuel than you're burning, you're going to get fat.
Right. So let's, and that's funny because tax season is coming up, right? And we know during tax season, so many people run out and they get something new, a new house, a new car, right? So my thing is, instead of paying 28.9999% for a 2003 Trailblazer, because you're going to the buy here, pay here, right? And if you start now, right now in October, by the time credit tax season roll in February, because they're going to start paying out the end of February, March, guess what? Your credit score can be to where maybe you can keep your tax refund in your pocket and pay no money down for your car.
There you go.
Start working on it. Well, I have one last question for you.
We're down to 2 minutes.
Quick. I know we have to go soon. So where can somebody get more information about what you're discussing with
a person that's actually going through the wage garnishment, maybe the employee is not abiding by it, you can go to the Wage and Hour Division found under the U.S. Government Department of Labor Employment Standard Administration for more information.
There you go.